Let's say hello to Christina. Yay! So excited to have you. I mean, it's been a few years, 4 years since we partnered together, which we did actually just before the 2022 midterm elections. We're back to some midterm elections this year. Hello. Um, and we did the Ally Tour conversation together, which
Mhm.
was absolutely and let me just tell you, like
Mhm.
you you like you brought it and you were an absolute hit. People were like, they were talking and buzzing about your contributions to that conversation. Everybody was fabulous. But
Mhm.
I mean, your voice is just so clear and so precise and so unique, as in there's just ways that you say things that are both like hilarious because you just nail it, but you nail it in a witty way. And at the same time, you're also you were in some ways kind of the grandmother of the take no prisoners
Mhm.
especially within the Christian world, right? So I am so excited to introduce to my followers, and honestly, I'm not introducing it. We have many of the same followers, so
Mhm.
I'm excited to have you here at the kitchen table with me, Christina
Thank
Cleveland.
you. It's wonderful to be here, and I'm so grateful for you. So thank you for having me.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. So here is Christina's bio. I am it's a little bit long, so but she deserves every one of these kudos.
Aw.
So I'm gonna go ahead and read it. Nope. Come on, I'm just gonna go ahead and read it. I did take like one or two pieces out. So if you really want to read the full thing, you can go on a website somewhere just because, but she is all of that and a bag of chips. And so Dr. Christina Cleveland is a social psychologist and a public theologian and an author and an activist. She is a weaver of Black liberation and the divine feminine. And guys, I'm telling you, like her last book, God as a Black Woman, was paradigm changing for like everybody, not only everybody who read it, but everybody who heard about it because she challenged, I'm really serious, like you challenged like
Mhm.
some of our most basic views of God, how we see God, and therefore, especially for Black women, how we see ourselves, even for women, period, how we see ourselves. And I think that through your book this time, The Black Madonna, you are going deeper, like you're drilling deeper into that. We will get into that, but let me just continue with the bio. Dr. Cleveland embraces the archetype of the Black Madonna, and her fourth full length book just dropped, and we are here to talk about it. In The Black Madonna, Christina explores the miraculous, the liberating, the zany ways of the Black Madonna and how the Black Madonna has protected, empowered, and nourished people around the globe and throughout history. An award winning researcher and former professor at Duke University, the divinity school there, Christina lives now in Minneapolis, Minnesota, where she has grounded herself, embedded in community, and is just loving life in these days. And you can discover more about her work and the Black Madonna at ChristinaCleveland.com. And don't get it twisted; it's Christina with an E. Christina. Okay, so all right. Well, everybody, please like, share, uh, comment, subscribe. And when we say subscribe, we mean free and also paid. Hey, help us to bring these conversations to more people by becoming an investor in this conversation, these ongoing conversations. So we always start with our word. And so I'm going to pitch it to you, Christina. What is your word as you are coming into the space?
Mm,
Hmm.
grounded.
Ooh,
Yeah.
like that. I like that. Okay, so grounded. I would say my word is spirit. I'm
Mm,
going to explain that later in our conversation.
okay.
But that is my word right now, and especially
Mm,
encountering your work in your book. So let's just dive in, okay?
sure.
Um,
Yeah.
so everybody, we will have an opportunity for Q&A toward the end, but I want you to start If you hear things that you have questions about, go ahead and put them in the chat now so that when we get to the Q&A, we can scroll back through and just go ahead and answer those, respond to your questions then, okay? And we really love it when you fill up the chat with commentary and conversation. So please do. And share this. Let other people know that this is happening so that, others will be able to enjoy this conversation. Okay, here we go. So I want to know how you discovered the Black Madonna, because it's not like you just wake up every day and think, oh, there's a Black Madonna in my quarter right now.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Or you
Yeah.
walk out the door and there's a Black Madonna, or even go honestly to any Black church and
Mhm.
find a Black Madonna.
Mhm.
How did you discover this?
Yeah, and she's intentionally hidden, um, because she's our power and our liberation. And I know when I first encountered Black Madonna and I saw myself in the divine, I was like, "Oh, I'm too sacred for this."
Yes,
It
the
it
last time we
changed
had
me.
a conversation,
Yeah,
you said that, and I was
it
like,
changed me. Just seeing a Black Madonna for the first time, I was like, "Oh, I am sacred. My Blackness and my femininity is sacred. Her Black body is a gospel. I'm free. I'm free. No one can tell me I'm not free." So I think she's intentionally hidden, particularly from Black and brown folks and women and non-binary people, because we would topple the patriarchy and the white supremacy and the colonial structure if we knew how powerful we really are.
mm,
It's amazing to
mm,
look back over my life and see all the places where I was right next to a Black Madonna. I was even exposed to a Black Madonna, but I had been taught as a good Protestant
mhm.
that anything that's even Catholic adjacent is of the devil.
Isn't that
It's
something?
almost
Yes.
Yeah, it's almost
Mhm,
like Catholics were worse than everybody else because they were it in social psychology we talk about this. It's the threats to our identity that
mhm.
we tend to hate the most. And because Catholics are also Christian, as Protestants, we were taught to hate them more than the Muslims and the Jews and all the people, right? I
Yeah.
mean, I grew up in a very conservative kind of Protestant, like our way is the only
Mhm.
way. So I think I was, my prejudice was one of fear and distrust.
Yeah.
But, I found her when I started looking for her, when I was desperate. And actually, now that I've studied so many stories of people coming to her, it's almost always out of desperation. It's
Wow.
essentially a dark night of the soul, right? Like, what's
Yeah.
been working for me is no longer working for me. And I'm open enough, I'm desperate enough to try something else.
Yeah.
And, for me, it happened in the wake of Trump's first election.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what
I mean, you've been
launched
knowing me for a long time, so back in the day, like the before times,
yeah,
I
the
yeah,
BC, and then there's the
yeah,
AD.
exactly. The before times. I'm like,
Yes.
this is
It's real. It's
well, it's
real.
just funny because sometimes people will come up to me in Minnesota because I lived here in the before times, and they'll be like, "Are you Christina Cleveland?" And I'm like, "Maybe." Who's asking?
Who are you thinking that is?
Yeah, which Christina Cleveland are you referring to?
Wow. Wow.
Because I taught
Okay,
at
so
Bethel
wait,
here. I mean, I taught
we
at
gotta
Bethel
wait, I'm sorry,
University.
we just gotta stop
Yeah,
for a
yeah,
second. Dark night of the soul.
yeah.
So
Right?
you
It's like,
went through a dark night of the soul.
well, what happened was and this, I was in the evangelical world. I was writing and speaking a lot about the problem of white Jesus.
Mhm.
Um, and so when Trump was running and a lot of people didn't know he was for real,
Yeah, that's
you
right.
know, um, people were at first shocked that evangelicals were supporting him after he said all those xenophobic and racist comments. That wasn't surprising to me. I was like, evangelicals do not have a problem with racism and xenophobia. I know this because I have been trying to talk to them about these issues for like the last 5 years. So
Yeah.
that didn't surprise me. But then the run up to his election, the fall of what was it, 2016 at this point,
Yep.
uh, he started making comments about white women, the
Oh,
sexual assault comments about white women. And that's when I was like, okay, evangelicals are they're precious white women. Oh, for sure they're going to protect. Because as a Black woman in evangelicalism, that the white femininity was always weaponized against me. white femininity was always protected over and against Black femininity.
Yeah.
So I was like, surely they're gonna, protect their white women. And when they threw the white women under the bus,
Yeah, with
I was
Christina.
like,
Wasn't her name Christina too, or Christine? The white woman who was, in the confirmation hearing
oh
for
yeah,
the just
yes, who was with the justice, Brett,
yes. But that
yeah,
wasn't
Kavanaugh.
2022, that was 2018, wasn't it? But
Yeah,
still,
but it was
that
right there
that
exactly. It
era,
was the
and then
same
him saying
energy,
you can grab
same
white
energy.
women by the yeah, yeah.
Exactly, exactly, and that's when I realized my problem is not just with white Jesus. My problem is with exclusively male Jesus. And that's when I said, I need to, and you know this, I'm assuming you know this. Let me ask. I feel like back in the evangelical world, I couldn't be both Black and female at the same time.
Mm,
I had to choose. So in the Rachel Held Evans kind of Sarah Bessey white feminist world, I could be a I could be a woman.
yeah, oh, yeah.
In
Yeah.
the Mark Demas, John, what was his name? The old guy, old Black dude who,
Oh,
John,
John Perkins.
John Perkins,
Mhm.
CCDA world, I could be Black, but I couldn't be a woman.
Come
So
on.
I was always negotiating that. And then Trump getting elected made me realize I have to embrace my Black femininity and I need to find a divine being that speaks directly to my Black femininity. And at that
Okay,
point,
so
it was a Google search.
yeah,
You know what I
no, it
mean?
wasn't. Was it really a Google search?
It was a Google search.
You were like, what did you Google? What was the Google?
Just Google, like, I think I Googled like Black female divine or something like that.
That's so
And then
fabulous.
I saw an image of a Black Madonna. I still remember the one that I saw first.
Uh-huh.
And my whole body exhaled for I think the first time.
Wow.
And I realized I had been holding myself in for 35 years
Right.
in these sacred spaces where I was supposed to be safe and I was family and I was Sister Christina and I was,
Mhm.
and that's when I realized there's an inherent sacredness to my Blackness and to my femininity. And this image proves
Wow. How old is this image? How far does this go back?
it. Well, 40,000 years. I mean, the world's oldest, so Carl Jung and also geneticists have confirmed that the world's oldest deity is the sacred Black feminine of the primordial prehistoric African ancestors. And so until about 25 to 30,000 years. No, wait, I'm getting the numbers wrong. No, about 25 to 30,000 years into human history, that's when you start to see even male gods. And you don't really see white gods until after Christianity. So the first 400 years of Christianity, all images of Jesus and Mary were Black and brown.
Wait a minute. Oh my god.
And so,
What? Wait,
yeah,
now see, something in me actually, I've heard that before, but I think to hear you say it,
like
I just
white
wanna
Jesus
take
didn't
that
even
image.
exist for the first four. A lot of the images became whitened right around when Christianity became empire.
Well, let me just say, I'm
Yeah,
putting some things together here because even as I go, "Wait a minute," I'm thinking to myself, "No, I knew that even the Greek statues, the Greek and the Roman statues, most of them
they
were
would.
literally colored
They were.
and
Yeah.
they were dark." Like,
Exactly. And they represent, yeah. And, and they represented Black and brown people. So I've traced the Black Madonna, and I'm not the first person to do this. A wonderful, she's now deceased, but Lucia Chiavola Birnbaum is an incredible Black Madonna scholar and historian who's traced the Black Madonna back to the ancient sacred Black feminine. And genetically, like all of our ancestors only worshiped a Black feminine deity. She was the earth, she was the sky, she was the night sky, she was the moon. And so, and what happened is as people migrated north and west and east, she followed them and shapeshifted to stay culturally relevant. So, in the east we see Kali, we see Tara, but there's still they have all the same characteristics of being creatrix, of
Mhm.
being the keeper of life and death,
Mhm.
of being fiercely protective of women and children. So it's like, so you see Tara in Buddhism, you see Kali in Hinduism. You go north, you see Isis in North Africa. You see Black Artemis, you see Black Cybele in amongst the Greek and Roman pantheon. You go west, you see Pachamama, you know. And so, but they're all these ancient, dark, feminine goddesses. And so
Mhm.
what happened with Christianity is Christianity was trying to be relevant. It's essentially seeker sensitive, if you know that word,
Oh
right?
God.
Right? They were
You just
trying
gave me a
to,
hive right
right,
there.
right, right. It's like getting triggered. Um, but like it's essentially like the Catholic Church was trying to be relevant in these spaces with these deep goddess devotions to a Black Isis, to a Black Artemis, and so they basically turned the Black Madonna. They said, "Oh, she's Mary. Your goddess is Mary." So what's interesting is white Mary is a figment of the white patriarchal imagination. Black Mary, Black Madonna, is the ancient goddess who has lived on in all these lineages. And the people knew it. Medieval pilgrims knew it. There are several Black Madonnas that they're literally called the Black one because medieval pilgrims were illiterate and they would, if they had a desperate need, they would travel, far and wide to talk to the Black Madonna. And in most churches, there's multiple white Madonnas and then one Black Madonna. So they were like, don't get it twisted. Pray to the Black one. It's the Black one. Yeah. If you have a real miracle that you need, if you're super desperate,
If you are serious.
if you are serious, make sure you pray to the Black one. So like the Black Madonna of Toulouse, one of her official names is the Black one. because
Just
they,
love
because
that.
the medieval pilgrims who were also, you know, witchy essentially, they also had this deeper goddess spirituality. They knew the Black Madonna she's the ancient mother. The white Madonna, she's cool, whatever. But a lot of Black Madonnas don't even have a Christ child because Black Madonna doesn't need a Christ child to legitimize her.
Because Black Madonna
Is
God's
is
self.
yeah. Mhm.
It's in fact,
Yeah.
honestly, when I look back at the ancient text in Genesis, and we know now this is getting us back to that question of spirit. Okay. So let's go there. Let's go there. So on the first page of the entire Bible in Genesis, we see the spirit of God
Hovering
hovering
over the
over the
darkness,
deep, hovering over the darkness,
the
and that
primordial
hovering,
darkness,
okay, okay,
the source without source,
the source without source,
the
and the
beginning of it
hovering,
all,
and the
the
hovering
womb.
like a chicken
Mhm.
brooding over her eggs.
Yep. I
That's
say
what it's.
she's the womb, the sperm, the egg, the midwife, and the baby.
Okay. I just like went,
I mean, and that's why Kali, all these super goddesses, these Black super goddesses, they're all creatrix. They preside over life and death. They
oh,
preside over
wow.
harvest and planting. All of the light, they preside over all the moon cycles, all the
Right.
like this is the source of life. And when Black women in particular realize this is our sacred lineage,
Mm. Mhm. Yeah. Wow.
and in
Wow.
all people, because the thing is because she affirms the sacredness of Black women,
Mhm.
He affirms the sacredness of everybody.
Of everybody. So this is why my word is spirit. I just finished a book, actually before picking yours up, called White. You ever read this book, White by Richard Dyer? It
Mm-mm.
you've got to read it. It
Mm.
it it illuminates so much.
Mm.
He's talking about much of what you're talking about from the opposite perspective. He's actually trying to figure out, what does it mean? What is whiteness? Not what does it mean to be white,
Mhm.
but how is whiteness constructed culturally?
Mm.
It's a good question. He's a visual culturalist. And he's a professor out of Aberdeen in the UK. And he's
Scotland.
white.
Yeah.
He
Mhm.
is white. And one of the first things he says about whiteness is that whiteness, as constructed in film and television, and also photography, portrays white people as being the sole possessors of spirit.
Really? Who said that?
Richard Dyer.
Oh, I don't
Richard Dyer.
that's how interesting. Because 'cause I'm like, I don't
So
look to white people for spirit, so that's
no, see, no, it's not the spirit you're talking about, but what, like,
Mm.
in other words, and he talks about it in terms of lighting,
Mm.
how they're lit on camera. He talks
Interesting.
about it in terms of how the men are, their bodies are built like Adonises, you
Oh,
know,
yeah.
Tarzan and Rambo and,
Interesting.
and so, and he also talks about white women and how white women's roles, what are white women's roles in whiteness? And he says white women are supposed to do nothing. Like they're not, they are in the social construction of whiteness and culturally, the cultural construction of whiteness, that they are literally supposed to do nothing, and they don't have to because they are all spirit. They are the ideal of white, and
Mm.
white is only spirit. And what it does is it disembodies them, which makes it possible, since we are not disembodied, we are only body in the white mind and white
Mm.
construction, then we can be reduced to only the carnal and not the spirit. Now,
Mm.
why I'm mentioning this here in the context of your work is I think that what you are doing is you are drawing out the reality that no, hell no,
Mhm.
we are spirit too,
Mhm.
and not just two, but principally. In fact,
Mhm.
the first.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
it's a humanizing
Mhm.
through spirit, and
Mhm.
you drawing. I mean, I'm kind of blown away by
Mm.
your capacity to zero in on 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 the thing that they stripped from us, which
Mhm.
is our ability to hold spirit, not just ability,
Our
but
sacred
our inherent
our
spiritualness.
inherent our inherent birthright, our sacred
Yeah,
birthright.
yes.
Mhm.
And by spirit, I don't mean soul. That might
Right.
be where you
Mhm.
tripped up.
Yeah.
It's not
Mhm.
that white folks have soul.
I just I don't even I mean, part of it is like, I mean, part of it is just like, when I think of white people, I think of bland and mayonnaise and bad
He
potato
talks
salad
about
and
that.
stuff. So that's why I'm like, "Spirit."
Yeah.
Like
Yes. He talks about that, and part of that is because part of also what it means to be white is to be constricted and to be tight and to be, uh, in control
Mhm.
of
Yeah.
all.
Whereas the darkness holds
Right.
everything,
Mhm.
and there's a chaos. Like, so one of the names of Black Madonna is Mother of Chaos.
Oh, see?
And there's a couple reasons for it. It's not like she's
Mhm.
chaotic. It's just that one thing, she cannot be organized according to our colonial system.
Mm.
She can't, you can't understand her. So that's part of it. And two, she births life out of the chaos. And so it doesn't scare her. I mean, one of my favorite Black Madonnas is called Our Lady of the Ominously Dark Forest. Like the chaos doesn't scare her.
Is that
Uncertainty
literally
doesn't.
her name? Like,
Mhm.
literally, or is that how
Yeah.
you named
Our No, it's Our Lady of the Finsterwald, which in German is ominously dark forest. Mhm.
it? Wow.
Mhm. Yeah. She's been named that for like over 1,000 years. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
And so, like, I think It's a good question though, because I do like my nicknames.
Yeah, I do too. I love that.
It's a legitimate question. You're like, who made that name up?
Yeah, yeah, because it's actually
Is
pretty
that
awesome and pretty
canon or
poetic.
is that Christina?
Yeah, yeah. Well, you
But
have
yeah,
to have Our Lady of this and that, especially
exactly.
the
Our Lady
values
of
of
the
Black
Side
women.
Eye. And yeah. And
Yeah.
so, but I think there's this idea, I think because of white Jesus, we've associated spirit with light and clarity and certainty and all those things, when really Black Madonna says, come bring your chaos to me, and I am with you in the chaos. I
Ooh.
am with you when you are uncertain. I am with you when everything seems to be falling apart. And I think what I was discipled into was God is I have illusions of of abandonment, especially when there's chaos, right? It's like God's not here.
Mhm.
I can't
Yeah.
I and so then when you are afraid that God's not there, you stop looking for God.
Yeah.
And so Our Lady of the Ominously Dark Forest, Our Lady of the Underworld, Our Lady of the Good Death, these are all Black Madonnas that remind us that when shit is hitting the fan, look up, look around, look down,
Mhm.
because you are accompanied and something magical is about to happen because she's the mother of chaos.
She's the mother of
And this is alchemical. Like even alchemists in the medieval times are like, when the matter goes black, get ready. That's the beginning.
well, we are
Which is
definitely in
where we
the
are right
age right
now. Which is where we are right now. Get ready because that's the beginning of the entire magic that's about to happen. And so I think this Black Madonna has helped me reframe God's presence in disillusionment, in pain, in uncertainty.
Yeah.
And I start getting really curious
Mhm.
and even hopeful. And also Black Madonna is like, um she's a trickster. She likes to come in and do something unexpected. And so some things have been really just, the publishing world, it's
Yeah.
terrible and they hate Black women and whatever. So I've just been like, I'm just waiting to see what Black Madonna is going to, you know what I mean? Like sometimes when you start to see things going real sideways, you're like, now I'm curious.
Yes,
Something's
yes.
going
What does Black Madonna say?
to,
Come on,
uh-huh,
Black Madonna,
uh-huh.
because we got some it is crazy right now, but it's not crazy in a bad way. I actually really love it. I mean,
Mhm.
I don't like I would not choose this,
You're
but at
right.
the same time, I say, "Ooh, God is
And
messing
what it
with
brings
me
to the surface, right? Like, and I think as Black women, we tend to be interested in what's real,
Mhm.
not what's easy, but what's real.
Well, that's good. That's
Yeah,
good.
and
So
what's happening right now is what's real,
yes.
and we know that because we've been in the spaces. I mean, we were in the spaces where the main Trump supporters now are. You know what I mean? It's like we saw this. Nothing surprised. I'm like, y'all don't even know, like.
Well, you know what's funny? I have to say though, Christina, I was surprised because I mean, I
Mm,
spent decades trying to move white evangelicals, and other evangelicals inside of that community,
mhm.
um, into racial reconciliation, right? So
Mhm,
that was the wording that we got.
mhm,
John Perkins was one of the
mhm,
main people who,
mhm.
because he really tried to do that his whole life as well. Recently passed, and I think
I
and
know
then
he
toward,
passed. Okay.
yeah, he passed away a few months ago,
Oh, I didn't know.
uh, and and toward the end of his life, he was actually reparations. Like
Oh,
he
interesting.
was radicalized toward the end.
Interesting.
He went back to where he started, which was right there, and then
Okay.
you know. But I think that when you're trying to influence in that world, um, you got to have hope because otherwise, what are you going to, But I think that, especially in the '90s and the early 2000s, when I was really deep into that space, a lot of what we're seeing now was very much cloaked. Like it was in very subtle forms. It wasn't actually, it
You're
didn't come
right.
in the form of
You're
white
right.
Christian
Mhm.
nationalism or something like
Totally.
that.
Mhm. I
But
agree.
they have embraced that now.
Right. Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's like back then you kind of needed a PhD in critical race theory to pick up on some of the things. And evangelicalism benefited from the fact that many of the Black people who were in those spaces had been estranged from the more radical Black communities.
That's
So
right.
we weren't aware. I can speak for myself. But, going back to the hope you just mentioned,
Yeah.
this is another reason why I'm like, I don't associate white with spirit. And this is just my vernacular, just my like, is that I feel like that hope that you were able to conjure and that I was able to conjure to a certain extent, that's just black. I mean, that's just like the other side of the coin of our black girl magic. Because I think as black women, we have a gift for making meaning out of meaningless situations.
Yes.
And I feel like I was using that gift to conjure hope in
Mhm.
those spaces. And it's like, oh my gosh, this is, and we do this. We do this to survive, you
Yeah.
know?
Mhm.
This is why the hush harbor existed on plantations, right? It's like it was making meaning out of a meaningless situation. And um, there's a time and a place for that. And also there's a Harriet Tubman who's saying, let's just go.
He's like, and holding a pistol, holding a
And
gun.
exactly.
He's
And
like, "I'm not gonna let you run back."
let's use this meaning making magic that we have
Mhm.
to build something new.
Mhm. Mhm. So, the Black Madonna, you talk about her as mother of
Mhm.
those who have not been mothered or mothered well or who have lost their mothers. How so?
Well, there are a lot of Black Madonnas that are especially um, associated with caring for and loving um, orphaned children. Um, there are
Mhm.
also a lot of Black Madonnas that are associated with stillborn children, which I think a lot of us have like a stillborn energy too, and that we were never brought to life fully, Um, but I also think that,
That's deep what you just said.
yeah,
Can I just before you go forward, can I
sure,
just sit on that for a second? Because that's very deep. It took me a second to, like, lock in, but
yeah.
you said a lot of us have been stillborn and that we were never really allowed to live, to
hmm
to come.
Well, I mean, I think until I was mid 30s, nobody and no institution was equipped to actually bless me, all of me, to flourish, to take up space, to
Mhm.
find. And so, I'm a student of matriarchy and the ancient matriarchal cultures, which were all Black Madonna cultures. They would, they had all these rituals for blessing the individual within the community context and honoring the individual's individuality in within the community. And it's like, no, people didn't have the theological tools to do that. People didn't have the parenting tools to do that. People didn't have their own like self-love.
Mhm.
And then of course institutions, right? It's like in order to be successful, you're contorting yourself into something that's not you.
Yeah.
And so it's like, yeah, what was I? I was stillborn. Like I wasn't.
Wow.
And Black Madonna is known for like there are all these really beautiful stories of like, in particular, like Eastern European Black Madonnas gathering all the stillborn children and people having dreams and visions of them like w- walking along the land with their stillborn children, watering the crops, and like, and these like, and caring for the stillborn children. And they have a home, they have a mother, they're safe, they're loved, you know. And so, I love just hearing those stories and knowing that no matter where we are on our journey, Black Madonna is mothering us. And I think because so many of us, well, not so many of us, all of us have grown up in a patriarchal world, we're all
Mhm.
undermothered. Our needs are not cared for. Our needs are seen as burdens.
Yeah.
We're asked to produce. We're asked to participate in an exchange economy from birth, essentially.
Mhm.
And we never received the maternal giving that we needed.
Yeah.
And so
And
she comes and offers that, among other things. You know,
yeah,
she's definitely a mother, but she's also so many other things too. But yeah.
it's really striking. The way that I resonate with what you're talking about is when I think about even my own mother. She was born in 48. She grew up in the 50s and 60s. And throughout her schooling, grade school, especially high school, she was told she's a Black woman. She was told the best that she could think to do for herself was to become a secretary.
Mhm. Mhm.
And that remember, that is also the period in our history where women could not have their own bank account. They could
Mhm.
not have credit
Mhm.
cards.
Mhm.
Women did not have literally had no rights inside
Mhm.
of a marriage.
Mhm.
And so the patriarchy was hard.
Mhm.
I mean, really until the civil rights movement and until the women's liberation movement and the ERA, even though that did not finally, didn't come to fruition, but in our world, in our nation, in our culture, women have not been able to flourish. We have been constricted. So to think of us
Mhm.
as not having been mothered is deep because our own mothers were constricted.
No, and they were all doing the best they could, and also, it wasn't enough. And but part of it too is, matriarchal cultures that do this well, they all believe in a mother goddess. And so ultimately, and it's the community that mothers, right? It's not it's yes, you have a biological mother, but also everyone's your mother. And there's
Mhm.
some aspect of that with Blackness too, right? Black American.
Mhm.
But I think in the real kind of classic matriarchal cultures, everyone's your mother,
Right.
regardless of gender
Mm.
and regardless of biological kinship. And also the goddess is the mother. And
Right.
and you also have a clan mother, and so there's a lot of people who are mothering you, and there's a whole structure to support that. Whereas
Mm.
here in the US, we're expecting one person, it's also a if in the case of Black women, it's often a single mother
Right.
to be superhuman and provide, a myriad of needs that were never designed to be provided by one person.
Right.
So we can come. So I tell people in our school because I lead a Black Madonna Freedom School. I say you cannot. Black Madonna loves to mother you. You can never overwhelm her. She's never annoyed by you. There's nothing too petty to bring to her, and you can bring your big needs to her.
Mm.
You can
Mm.
bring your big needs to her. You can bring the belongingness needs. You can bring the desperation. You can bring your tantrums. In the book I talk about um, offering our tantrums to her
Mhm.
because she isn't disgusted. We don't have to have it all together.
Mm.
Um, and I think to me that's a very having grown up, in a culture where both in the church but also in academia, perfection is the way to feel safe in your body.
Which is never present, so you never feel safe.
Mhm. And you're also just twisted into this white patriarchal colonial notion of perfection.
Yeah.
And so I just love how Black Madonna is, key aspect as mother, great mother,
Wow.
always has room for my need as a child.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really interesting because, again, going back to that very first page of the whole Bible, first chapter of Genesis, um, what we see is, and the way that we read that, the way the church has read that, is that we see Father, we see
Mhm.
God, and we
Mhm.
malify him.
Mhm.
Um, we see Spirit, and we malify the
Mhm.
Spirit, even though the word is a feminine word.
Mhm.
Um, and we see a hint, right, of the word,
Mhm.
Jesus, in that text. And, so then we get the Trinity, and the
Mhm.
Trinity has three men, like
Mhm.
the Spirit, which
Exactly.
is woman in the
Yeah.
text. is now
Mhm.
malified, and then you have
Mhm.
father and son.
Yeah.
So you've taken the mother out. There is no mother
Mhm.
in the Godhead in
Right.
Christianity in the way that it has been interpreted.
Right.
But what I love about, again, the it's part of the power of the Black Madonna, um, this construct, which is,
Mhm.
or I don't know how to, a paradigm or
Archetype.
archetype. Thank you,
Mhm.
icon
Mhm.
archetype,
Mhm. Mhm.
is that it corrects that.
Mhm.
It
And one of the so I spent a lot of time with the French Black Madonnas. There many of them are, 10 t around the year 1000 to, like, the year 1300 or so. And in that amongst the French Black Madonnas, there are a lot that are in the wisdom seat position, which is a very specific type of position where essentially they, um, they look like their body is a throne and the Christ is sitting on the throne. So they are the seat of wisdom. They are wisdom and the seat of wisdom, the mother of wisdom, all the things.
Mhm.
And it's like a power pose, they're
Yeah.
very formidable and beautiful. And, they came about in the time of the whole Gothic Revolution, which was a Marian revolution. It was a return to the feminine after the Romanesque period of
Yeah.
the Dark Middle Ages. And so, that also calls back the reality that in the Hebrew scriptures, wisdom was feminine.
Yes.
And that got written out too. But Black Madonna brings that back into the conversation
Mhm.
because she's in this seat of wisdom. And it's primarily Black Madonnas that are in the seat of wisdom and
Mhm.
primarily French Black Madonnas. So it's just really interesting. She's very powerful and very formidable. And I've spent a lot of time with those particular Black Madonnas,
Mhm.
which, compared to like the Italians, which usually are more like tender, they have a lot more virgins of tenderness. So it's just interesting to see the different ways that she brings. But another thing that's related to this, is like the Virgo lactans, so the nursing Black Madonnas, and actually going back to the, beginning early on, all of the images of Mary were not only Black, but she was nursing. So it brings back that, earth, like the divine also being in the body.
Embodied. Yes.
Mhm. Yeah.
Wow, that's deep.
And now most of those have been destroyed because of, Protestantism, actually. Protestantism Protestantism's issue with the body
That's right.
meant that a lot of the Catholic churches that were trying to stay relevant got rid of a lot of those nursing Madonnas, because they were trying to keep money, keep people in the seats who were running away to Protestantism.
That is so deep, and, I
Uh,
just read about that also.
yeah.
It's gotta have something to do with whiteness as well. It strikes me that that period, 1000 to 1300, is also the latter part of the rule of the Moors
Right,
throughout
exactly.
Europe.
There were a lot of Black Madonnas in part because there were so many Black and brown people living in France, Spain,
Ruling.
ruling. Yeah, exactly.
Like,
Yeah.
so they were the ruling class,
Mhm,
actually, from
exactly.
700 to 1400.
Right. Mhm.
That's 700 years. That's
Mhm.
200 years more than we have had Western
Mhm.
civilization on this
Mhm. Yeah,
continent.
totally. Yeah. Longer than slavery, longer than a lot of things. Yeah. So, I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, really
They
interesting.
had a concept of Black power,
Mhm. Yeah.
and they embraced the
Mhm.
power of Black women. That's deep.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah.
Okay, so can you talk to us about "She Crosses Oceans for Us"?
Mm.
I think that's a really powerful image, and
Mhm.
I imagine,
Mhm.
or I know part of what you're talking
Mhm.
about is the reality that we brought her
Mhm.
to the North American continent, the South American
Mhm.
continent. We crossed she
Mhm.
crossed with us.
Right.
Uh,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
tell me that.
Yeah. So, one of the things that I love about Black Madonna is, you see, and this is, the ancient sacred Black feminine, you just see her going with her people. She lives on with her people, no matter where they go. And, eventually, Black Madonna revealed herself in West Africa, within the Yoruba pantheon, primarily as, Yemaya and Oshun. And so when, um, some of our ancestors were stolen away to slavery and taken to Cuba, Oshun went with them. She transformed from the river to the water, to the rainwater, so she could travel across, so that she could be with her people.
Wow.
And there's this really beautiful story in both Yoruba tradition and also Black Madonna tradition of her not only transforming into the rain so she could cross the ocean, but also changing her skin color. Because once her people, her West African people who were dark skinned, became enslaved in Cuba, they were mixed, sometimes willingly, sometimes unwillingly,
Right.
with indigenous and Spanish
Mhm.
folks. So their skin got lighter. And so she asked her big sister Yemaya, who had more power, and she was the great mother, kind of, to help to transform her skin. So she went from super dark skinned Oshun to a caramel colored, multiracial or biracial Our Lady of Charity. But it's interesting because she was Our Lady of
Wow.
Charity in Cuba,
Mhm.
but Oshun is the Orisha of love. So people knew, they recognized her by the name,
Uh-huh.
and they were also able to recognize her and kind of venerate her safely as enslaved people in a Catholic nation. So it's
Right.
just, when I think about,
Big
like,
signifying. That's
right, like, she's like brilliant, she's strategic, and she's
Mhm.
also willing to go the distance. Like, she changed who she was. And she said, I want to change my skin color because I'm concerned that my children won't recognize me and know that I'm their mother because they're lighter now. And she says, and I need them to see me as beautiful so that they can see themselves as beautiful, even though they have been um, racially mixed in ways that maybe they didn't choose. And so
Yeah.
when I read that story, I just started to weep, especially for my biracial friends. And I'm like, there's a Black Madonna for you. You know what I mean? Like, a Black Madonna who gets what it's like to be biracial and literally changed her own self so that you could find yourself in her and know that you are sacred too.
Wow.
That to me is just, and the story is just so beautiful. And I also just love how much Black Madonna connects the diaspora,
Yeah.
because Black Madonna shows up in Candomblé. She's super huge in Haiti as Urzuli Dantor. She's super huge in American Voodoo as also as Urzuli Dantor. So she has all these ways, Santeria, like, you name it, she's connecting us to this great mother, this ancient mother, and connecting us to each other.
Right.
And yeah.
How do you respond, or do you respond, to, because I could hear some of my friends, very good friends, um, talking about or referencing back to the things they were told about
Mm,
these religions, Hodemblay,
mm, mhm, mhm, mhm. Yeah.
and thinking of them told by missionaries usually,
Uh-huh,
and
mhm.
stuck, and now it
Yeah.
is held
Mhm.
most tightly by the people,
Right, right.
um,
Yeah. Mhm.
that these religions are in competition with
Right.
Jesus.
Yeah,
So
totally,
how do you respond to
totally.
that?
Um, with a lot of grace, especially if they're Black women,
Yeah.
because I've found that, Black women, we've been taught that faithfulness means never changing. We've been taught that faithfulness means being faithful to everybody but ourselves. And we have not been given the theological tools to be adventurous. And so often, and I can relate. I mean, I think if 25-year-old me encountered 45-year-old me, she'd be like, the devil is a lie. You know what I mean? I'd be triggered. You know what I
Oh
mean? Like,
my
I'd be like,
gosh.
no, I don't know what, get away, get behind me, Satan, whatever.
I
Right.
know, I would totally
Like,
be that way
I would be
myself.
actually threatened. Right. And so it's just,
Yeah.
that's okay. That's okay. I think I finally believe in a divine being who can meet people where they're at. And if the starting point of my conversation is not the right place, that's okay. 'Cause life is spirals, and we'll all go around the spiral another time, and maybe next year, or maybe the next year, or maybe I'm not supposed to be involved, you know?
Mhm. Mhm.
But I think I have a lot of empathy for that, and I know I invite people into curiosity. I'm like, "Yeah, I hear," you know, 'cause I just speak from my own experience. When
Mhm.
I'm afraid, I go straight to judgment rather
Yeah,
than
and control. You
and
wanna
control,
control.
right? So I name the fear and I say, "Yeah, like, I can relate to that. This is I am inviting you to ask questions that you have been taught you are not supposed to ask." And actually, like, we were taught that our salvation is on the line,
Oh gosh, yes. I mean,
right?
that's
So,
basically it.
like right. And so
Satan is
I get
after
it.
you, he's prowling, and he's gonna get you through
Exactly.
that
Exactly.
sangria.
That
He's gonna
slippery
get you through that
slope and that
contemplate.
exactly. And so I name that. I say, "I get it. Like, this is scary." Not only were we not supported in learning how to ask these types of questions,
Mhm.
but we also were, like, conditioned to believe that these questions would kill us. And so that it's okay to be afraid. And also I just say when I'm afraid, I go straight to judgment and I can't actually understand something if I'm judging it. So if you want to understand this, I invite you to step back and be curious. And then once you understand it, then do what you need to do. Because then
Mhm.
once you understand it, then it can just be discernment rather than judgment, right?
Wow. Yes.
Because it doesn't have that condemnation piece to it that, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
um, and so, you know, but I think I'm maybe not I mean, I know myself well enough to know that I'm probably not the best person for a person at that stage of their journey. I need people to be a little more curious and open if they're gonna rock with me. And it's kinda similar to Harriet Tubman where it's like, you know, I kinda had to take on her mantra, which is like, you know, I'm not gonna argue with people that Harriet Tubman would have left behind. You know,
Yeah.
like
Wow.
that's not my gifting, that's not my gifting. Now there's other people who have much more of like an evangelist vibe, you know what I mean?
Mhm. Mhm.
But that's not
That's their thing.
I like 99% profit.
Yeah.
So, I just have
It's
to
so true.
that, you know what I mean? Yeah. I don't I've developed some pastoral muscles, but I like to say I don't have a pastoral bone in my body.
Well, I think part of what helps you is your background in psychology, so you kind of understand how to help move people, but whether or not you wanna do that is another question.
Or whether I'm even the right person, you know what I mean? Like, there's other people with other gifts
Mhm.
and I have my lane, you
Yeah.
know? And I think, you know, having a much bigger understanding of God, which I do now, my God's way bigger.
Mhm.
I can just be like, "You know what? Black Madonna can catch them somewhere else." Like,
It's true, and it's not about you, it's not about me, it's not about any one of us, it's about God and
and
Black
I don't
Madonna.
need to win souls anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I have a friend who's running for school board here, and I was like, "I'm really good at I have a lot of experience with door-to-door evangelism, so put me on canvassing." You know what I mean? I'm like, I have these gifts, I have these skills that I don't
Right.
use anymore because 'cause I'm not out there evangelizing about, you know, in that way
Right.
about, like I just tell what happened to me, and
Mhm.
if people lean in, they lean in, but I'm not like, "I need
Mhm.
to win 8 souls for Christ today."
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. You know, let me I wanna sit a little bit on this question of, um, how Black Madonna shows up in a subversive way in in the diaspora, from Candomblé to Hoodoo to Santeria. Um, I am I'm deep into my own dissertation writing right now, and so I'm reading about a lot of this stuff and beginning to write about it. And the thing that is striking to me, it also harkens back to a conversation that I had with the Ayala family on the island of Puerto Rico, and they are the holders um, uh, of the bomba
Mhm.
in Puerto Rico, and also the St. James Festival, which
Mhm.
was very similarly a subversive way for them to, in the face of their oppressors who were telling them that they
Mhm.
venerate St. James,
Mhm.
you know,
Mhm.
this
Mhm.
Spanish.
Mhm.
They had
Mhm.
created St. James in their Spanish
Mhm.
likeness, right?
Mhm.
Um, but they saw Chango.
Of course, yeah.
And so, right, so what they did was they said, "Okay, we'll do that, no problem."
Exactly.
And they just made their
Mhm.
St. James was actually
Exactly.
Chango to them, and they
Totally.
knew that,
Yeah. Mhm.
right? So they
Saint
worship
Barbara, Saint
every
George,
year the
yeah,
St.
all of
James
them.
festival, but it's
Mhm.
actually a celebration of
Mhm.
Chango.
Totally.
And so
Mhm.
it strikes me that when
Mhm.
you talk about this subversive shape shifting
Mhm.
that Black Madonna has done across the continents,
Mhm.
she's done that in order to keep the power of her people, like in order that we might be able to hold on to, maintain, even in the midst of being subjugated by people who are
Yeah.
trying to strip us of what my native friends have called, my indigenous friends have called the medicine. Like
Mhm.
that's our medicine. And it
Mhm.
was stripped from them by
Right.
calling what they had to
Yeah.
offer their medicine evil. Well, the same thing happened to us.
Mhm. Yeah.
And you are saying, you're calling us, I see you calling us back to our medicine.
Yeah. And she I mean, that to me, that just crossing oceans, like she she the only there's only one thing I know for sure about Black Madonna because there's no systematic theology of Black Madonna. You know what I mean?
Come
The
on.
only thing, and I don't, we don't need creeds and all those things. The one thing I know for sure is she never abandons her people.
Girl, I just want to cry and worship right now. Like,
She never abandons her people. And so if you don't see her, you don't feel her. As I tell the students in our school, tell her, I need receipts. Remind me, show me.
mm,
Because we've been conditioned with illusions of divine abandonment. So it's a constant, and I like to tell our students too, she's trauma informed. So you can just tell her, I'm traumatized. I don't believe you today.
right.
Remind me. And she's like, cool, absolutely. I get it. You're traumatized. And I also think, Black Madonna, even being willing to F with the Catholic Church, is her saying, any way that people are going to find me, I'm willing to be there. There's
Wow.
no
She
ego.
even
Yeah,
entered the
right?
Catholic Church. That's
Right?
deep. That's funny.
She's like, she doesn't have ego. And like, I'll be
Wow.
honest. She did that for Black Americans with a Christian sensibility because there's no way I was going to go straight from evangelicalism to candomblé.
Come on. No,
There's
that's
no way I was going to go
Jonathan
straight from
root.
evangelicalism to Vodun. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
But I could kind of peek into a Catholic church.
Mm.
She's the gateway. She's the gate.
Wow. Now somebody up in here is probably gonna, or not here, but like, who sees this out in the nether world, the
Yeah.
ether sphere, that they're gonna say, well, that means she's a slippery slope. She's the gateway to hell, they would say, you know what I mean? But what you're saying and what I hear you saying and I am embracing is that no, she is our bridge back to ourselves.
She's the gateway to home.
She is the gateway to home
She's the
and
gateway
our medicine.
into sacred and to our birthright sacredness.
And you actually have a chapter where you say she soothes our deepest wounds.
Yeah.
So you're not just talking about like a new thing to go find a worship. Like this is
Yeah.
not a deconstruction exercise. Okay.
Mm-mm. And actually, if she
Oh,
doesn't heal your wounds, she'll just be white male God in blackface. You can't just switch deities and think that's gonna fix it. I've learned that.
girl, you're gonna have me talking tongues up in here. Like,
Yeah, I mean, she because anything can be weaponized by white supremacy,
yes, it
right?
can.
And there's evidence of Black Madonna being weaponized too. Christopher Columbus was a huge Black Madonna devotee.
Whoa.
Named the island of Montserrat that he quote discovered after the Black Madonna of Montserrat. Named the island of Guadalupe after the Black Madonna of Guadalupe in Spain, who was a super Black Madonna at the time. And she's the original Guadalupe. So, I mean,
Right.
there's a lot of shady people who, there's a lot of shady people who were Black Madonna devotees because she's powerful. And
Yes.
powerful people are always going to want to harness the power. And so she wants internal change. And she's a good mother. She wants us to be whole and well more than she wants us to be comfortable.
Yeah. Okay, so Christina, we're
We're out
at
of time.
time.
Yeah.
I can't even believe we've been talking for a whole hour. I'm looking at the chat right now, and it looks like there's a lot of people who've written a lot of great stuff in the chat. Thank you, Ani, or I always call you Annie Ponder for chiming in. Thank you, Kelly Edmonston, who I just spoke with a couple of weeks ago. So great to see you here, Cheryl D. Thank you for chiming in. Anybody have any questions? What are your questions for like I think we don't really have time, but I did say we would do it. So do you mind actually taking like 2 minutes
Sure.
to
Yeah.
respond to one? Let's do one question. Anybody, whoever asked that question first. Okay. Oh, look at that. Somebody came prepared. Look at this. Okay. So
Yeah.
Glenn, so good to see you. Glenn Siricavit, a friend from a long time ago. In Costa Rica, we have La Virgen de los Angeles.
Yeah, I love her.
The
Yeah.
the patron saint of Costa Rica, a Black Madonna, also known as La Negrita. There is a pilgrimage on August 2nd. As an African American, the name La Negrita bothered me, but I'm trying to broaden my mind and not hear a slur. I know Spanish functions differently than English here. Can you expand on how we resist the mammy trope when we view the black? Oh, that's so good. The Black Madonna.
Yeah. Those are
That's
two
good.
those are two good questions. Um, is this a Black person that I'm talking?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
okay. That's interesting because okay.
Mhm.
So for me, they're all so I think many of us are first drawn to Black Madonna because we're desperate and we're looking for someone to kind of meet our needs.
Mhm.
That's if you think of scripture, that's like what Paul was saying when he's like, when I was a child, I spoke like a child. I taught, like, but then
Mhm.
there's a growing up process where she's she's asking us to change and heal. And a lot of people, and I would say privileged Black people and white folks and BIPOC folks, um, will often stay in big breasted mammy God
Mhm.
phase.
Mm.
And, I want to just name the humanity of like, a lot of us are in desperation when we first come to her
Especially right now.
and undermothered and all the
Mhm.
things, right? So I don't want to, and that is an aspect of who she is. But if that's all she is, well, she's never a mammy, but big breasted God is an aspect of who she is, who
Mhm.
meets needs, who
Mhm.
legitimately meets needs. But then she asks us to change because she is love and she wants us to embody her in the world as love. So
Mhm.
then she starts to get real serious about our need to control,
Mhm.
about the hierarchies that we benefit from. For
Mhm.
me, Black Madonna has completely transformed my perspective on and solidarity with and action with trans people, right?
Mhm.
She is addressing colorism, she is addressing classism, she is addressing all the things that me with my little Ivy League educated, light-skinned, blah 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 self could easily just ignore. But
Mhm.
she's like, I want you to be free.
Wow.
I want you to be free. And so going down the path of solidarity and justice in a way that has costs is what it means to embody Black Madonna
Mhm.
and not mammify her. And so we all have work to do. It looks different, but Black Madonna is really is the people in the world healing the world.
Mm.
And those of us who have power and privilege, whatever that looks like,
Mhm.
that means being our spirituality being the dismantling of those structures
Mhm.
in ways that are deeply uncomfortable, turning up. She's the mother of chaos. So if you are not if you are not stirring shit up and experiencing the aftermath of that, the consequences of that, I would argue that she's a mammy to you. Because if you only want to feel good around Black Madonna, if you never want to be called out, if you never want to be part of the crossing oceans with her,
Right.
part of the ways that she's willing to go the distance, then what are we even talking about? Just go back to white Jesus. You know what I mean?
Ooh, okay.
She's she's for
Well,
alchemical
that's right.
transformation. You know what I mean? She's for
Mhm.
alchemical transformation.
Wow.
We start by getting our needs met. We stay because she's healing us.
Yeah,
And healing ain't cute and usually isn't fun,
that's right, and it hurts.
but it's love
Mhm.
and it's
Mm.
beautiful and it's freedom. And she's
Thank
helping us get more free. It's awesome.
you. It is
And
awesome.
and
Thank
someone
you.
said, check out the research of Dr. Larissa Harrington. I agree. Larissa came
Mm.
with me on a pilgrimage a couple years ago. So yeah, she's doing really great work on the Black Madonna. There's been a wonderful crop of scholars who've started to come out with Black Madonna research. So shout out to
Well,
Dr. Larissa Harrington. Yeah.
I would also say make sure that you check out the Black Madonna, the book, Black Madonna, which is coming out.
It just
When
came
did
out.
it drop?
It came out July 7th, so it's out.
Oh my goodness, it's been out for almost a month. It's been out for a month. Holy crap. I can't believe it's been that long. Okay, so
Life happens.
we're late, folk. We're late. We gotta read the book. And also the school. So there's the Black
Mhm.
Madonna Freedom
Really
School. So
cool.
check that
Mhm.
out,
Mhm.
ChristinaCleveland.com. I will put all the links in the chat
Mm.
so that you can follow her here on Substack and other places, as well as like we all need the Black Madonna right now. I
Yeah.
mean, can we just agree to that? Can we just agree on that? Like we are in a period of chaos. This is the era of the Black Madonna.
All the
And
mess chaos.
so
Yeah.
thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Mm,
Christina Cleveland. You're like one of those names like myself where you have to say the whole name.
you do. Yeah. Lisa,
Uh,
Sharon, Harper, your whole government name.
the whole government name, exactly. So thank you so much for your amazing work,
Great. Thank you. It's
for the
nice to be here.
time. Thank you for doing the 2-year hermitage because it
Mm.
obviously birthed, gestated something in you that is beautiful and powerful. And we are grateful. We're grateful for you and your life and your voice. And we
Thank
bless you.
you.
And so now, as we close, I want to offer everybody an opportunity to write your word in the
Mm,
chat.
it's great.
Uh, what is your word, Christina? And I'll share mine.
Mm,
How are you leaving the time? What's the word that characterizes how you're leaving the space as a result of being here?
full.
Mm, yeah, yeah.
Mm.
I would say my word, my word is twisty turny. Like
That's a good one.
I'm feeling twisty turny.
Turned
Like
up.
yeah, like ooh, energized or something like that. But thank you.
Awesome. Great.
Everybody grateful, says
Yeah.
Leslie Colvin.
Yeah.
It's really, really great. Everybody, bless you. We will see you again. I actually, let me
Mm.
say, I'm taking a hiatus in August, like I did in July.
Black August.
In order to do that dissertation writing, I gotta do it, y'all. I gotta finish. And I'm excited for what I'm working on, and eventually you'll see it. But forgive me for not putting out a bunch of content in August. I will be back in September. In the meantime, I do intend to reissue some of my favorite conversations. I'll probably reissue this one toward the end.
Mm.
Look how amazing this conversation was. But in the meantime, please like, share, comment, and subscribe. And hey, do a gift subscription to a friend so that they can also get some of this heavenly goodness.
Mhm.
Bless you
Blessings
guys.
on your writing, Lisa.
Thank you.
Blessings on
I
your
appreciate that. And I can use the
yeah.
prayers.
Yeah. I will definitely pray for you. Yeah. I've been there. So yeah.
Ah, yes.
And it's
Yes, you
holy
have.
work.
I may be calling you for some advice.
Yeah. It's holy work. So be
Thank you.
blessed.
I
Yeah.
believe that. I believe that. Bless you, everybody. You have a great rest of your week, and we'll see you again. I'll see you again in September. In the meantime, have a really great rest of your summer. All
Mm.
right. Bye bye.
Bye.